Everyone, welcome back to the next video. In today's video I will show you how to add new privacy policy as well as required reason API inside your React Native app. So if you don't know what this new privacy policy and required reason API is, so Apple has made some changes. Like if you are submitting a new app or creating an update for an existing app, you will have to create this privacy policy as well as required reason API for your particular app. Now in this documentation, if you are using native code or if you are using library which uses this kind of internal API, so here in this documentation Apple has highlighted all the internal iOS APIs. If you are using not internal like iOS APIs, if you are using this in your application, like for a new update or for a new app, then you will have to create an privacy policy as well as required reason API. One common one which is used by almost everyone is user defaults. So it is used for saving normal key value pair. So if you are using this, then you will have to create a required reason API. There are some third-party libraries as well. If you are using any of these third-party libraries, then also you will have to create a required reason API. Now typically if you are using a third-party library, it is the job of the third-party developer to provide required reason API for his or her particular library. But suppose I am using this file picker API in my new app, and this library has not been updated for the last 4 years, then it is your job to provide this new privacy policy as well as required reason API. Otherwise don't use this library. Also, this privacy policy and required reason API are not it kind of does not apply to existing apps. So suppose if you are submitting a new app, you have to provide it, okay? But if you have an existing app and if you're trying to update your app, and in that update if you're introducing Firebase for the very first time, then you will have to provide privacy policy as well as required reason API. If Firebase was already present in your app like 6 months back or a year back, then you don't have to worry about providing privacy policy as well as required reason API for your particular project. So let's see how to get started with this. Okay, so suppose I want to use user defaults API, which is an iOS API for storing key value data inside my React Native app. Suppose I'm using that. So how will I go about adding this privacy policy API to my app? So first I'll just click on over here to my app, new file. I will just search for app privacy and click on next, and here I will just check this checkbox of target. If you are using any widget kit extension, if you have written any widget kit extension in your iOS app, you will also have to select that target as well. Just click on create. Next you will have to click on this plus button, privacy access API types, okay. Next here I will just turn this arrow down. Now suppose if you are using a lot of these APIs which are mentioned in the documentation over here, then you will have to just click on this plus button again to add multiple APIs. But in our case I'm just showing user default just for simplicity sake. Then again I'll move this arrow down, I'll click on this plus button, then I will select privacy access API type. And if you are using user defaults, in the documentation itself they have specified you will have to use NS privacy access API category user defaults. So I'll just copy this and I'll paste it over here, and it automatically gets converted to user defaults. Next I will click on this plus button again, and here I will select the reasons which I am using for it. So I'll just click on this arrow again, and mostly user defaults would be used for this reason. Again, you will have to read the documentation on identifying for what reason you are using the user defaults. So I'll just copy paste this particular reason and I'll paste it over here. Again, this reason is also an array, so if you want you can add multiple items. So here you can see it automatically gets converted to this long string. Okay, so the next thing which we have to do is we have to generate privacy reports. So suppose if you are accessing contact info, health and fitness, financial info, location, all this kind of sensitive info, then you will have to create a privacy report. A typical privacy reports look something like this. So I have just taken this screenshot from this backyard birds app which is from Apple itself. So to generate this report, you again have to go to this privacy info file. You will have to click on this plus button, click on privacy nutritional label types, okay, and I'll open this drop down. So suppose if you are accessing financial info, sensitive data, location, then you will have to add multiple of this, but for now I will just concentrate on health data. I'll just open this, and in collected data type for health you will have to copy paste this. Now again read this documentation on what exactly you are accessing from health and fitness. If you are accessing health, then you can copy this value. If for fitness, you can copy this value. So I'll just copy it and I'll paste it over here, and you can see it gets automatically converted to health. Now link to user and used for tracking would depend on you, on your app. So I will just make this one of this yes. And for collection purposes, you can again give multiple purposes, but there are handful of purposes which Apple have given. So for this I will just select this product personalization one, but again you can go to this documentation and select whatever reason is for your app. Okay, now all we have to do is we have to archive the project. So to archive the project, you can just click on product, archive, and after some time it should be able to archive your project. And once your project is archived, you can just right click on that particular archive and generate privacy report. So yeah, just a minute, it should get completed. Okay, so here you can see, you can just right click, generate privacy report, and you can save it wherever you want. And the privacy report would look something like this, which I have shown you from the Backyard Birds app from Apple. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.